Hi there everyone, and welcome to this video. In this clip I'm going to teach you how to use the CD recorder, which is located right here. It is a Tascam 900SL Professional, and we use it whenever we want to record anything off the mixer. So follow along and I'll show you how this guy works. Okay, now the first thing that we got to find out is where the signal that goes to the CD recorder comes from. It's taken from this pair of jacks here, which as you can see is labeled record right and record left. Now these can be plugged in to any output of the mixer, but they are usually plugged in where it says tape record. This is the board which is on loan to us, but on the other board, which is also a Soundcraft, they're also plugged in there. But you can plug them into an auxiliary output, and you can also plug them on the other board into a group output or one of the matrix outputs if you have the correct connectors. But this output here, the tape record output, carries the signal from the left and right bus. So it's generally the easiest place to connect the recorder, because whatever goes through the mixer will also go to the recorder. So you got to make sure these are plugged in. If they're not plugged in, the recorder can run until Jesus comes back and you will not get a thing. Now the second thing, of course, is you need some blank CDs. So open the top drawer here and you will find a little folder which contains, as it says there, blank CDs for the recording of sermons. Now sometimes this little book is either missing or it's empty. If it's empty, you got to go upstairs and get some blank CDs out of the cupboard. Now this is beyond the scope of this video, so you got to ask one of the church staff to let you in. Just say that you need blank CDs for the recording, but this usually should have some discs in it. Okay, now we're going to move on to the CD recorder itself. I'm here next to you. There's no room for me to fit in the picture, but the first thing that you got to do is you have to power this on. It is switched separately from the rest of the PA system, so it doesn't automatically come on when the mixer is powered up. So you press that, and as you can see, this is the startup sequence. Now it will say no disc. If there is a disc inside, you will get the appropriate track count. So you take your little folder and you take out one of the discs. Now please remember that this is a CD recorder. It will not record DVDs, and it will not record on certain types of CDs. Alright, but the ones that the church provides, it will record on. It's a slot loader, so you put it there, push it in gently, and it will say disc loading. Now this process, from when the disc goes in to when you are ready to record, takes quite some time, especially if you are panicking. So load before the sermon starts. Right? It says blank disc. Alright? Now in some cases the disc will be unreadable. If that is the case, it will reject the disc and you try another one, but if it says blank disc, you're okay. Alright. Okay, I've just zoomed in on the control panel so that you can get a better idea. Once it says blank disc, you press record. Now, when you press record, it will not begin recording immediately. It will go into record standby mode. Alright? Now, it may say now OPC if you have a brand new disc, but then you will see this screen. Now, in this screen, you notice that there's a pause sign here. Okay, that means that your recording has not yet started. But what you will see is you will see an indication of the signal that is going into the recorder. Now if you don't see anything, either there's nothing going through the PA system, or these over here, right, which is the input level controls for the mixer, have been turned all the way down. Now if I just do that, okay, you'll see that there is nothing. Now for the reference of those of you who are wondering, the sound is coming from a mic that I've plugged directly into the mixer. So these two, they should be set at about 3 o'clock. about 3 o'clock. That will accommodate the loudest sounds that you're likely to get, and it will also make sure that the soft ones get picked up correctly. Okay, now once you're at this screen, you can begin recording anytime. Now to begin recording, you either press play or you press record again. Okay, so we're going to press play. So you can see there, right now you have a play sign, which means that you are in fact recording and the counter is going. If you want to see the amount of time that you have left, which some people want to see, you press the time button here, not the display button, but you press the time button, and that will cycle from time elapsed to the total time remaining, which as you can see there is 79 minutes and how many seconds depending on what exact time it is. Each CD is good for 80 minutes, but if you know you've got an event longer than 80 minutes, make sure that you plan accordingly and change the disc. Okay, so we will now set it back to total time. Now when you want to stop or pause the recording, okay, if there's a break in the service and you want to just pause the recording, you press the pause button. Okay, so you can see there that it goes back to record pause mode. You still have an indication of your level, but you are not actually recording. This is shown by the fact that the counter has stopped. Now when you want to start recording again, you don't press pause. If you see, if I press pause, nothing happens. Now some people who are used to the older style recorders will find this disorientating. So you either press play or you press record again. Okay, and you can see there we are recording now, as can be seen from the counter moving again. If you stop the recording and press stop, right, you will see that it says PMA writing. Okay, this means that it's writing, it's confirming what we just recorded, and you will go back to this screen. Now at this point, if you want to start the recording again, you press record, it enters record pause mode, and then you press play. Okay, if you want to pause the recording, you press pause. To resume the recording, you press play. To stop the recording, you press stop. Now say you want to create a new track number without stopping the recording. In order to do that, it's like the old recorder, you press record, okay, and you can see that it's created a new track. Now some people notice this hasn't changed. Well, that's because the display is set to total. If I press this, right, time remaining, and there we go, right, that's the track time. So fool around with this. Pressing the time button will not screw anything up, so you can press this to your heart's content. Okay, as you can see, it cycles between time elapsed in the current track, time remaining, total time recorded on the disc, total time remaining, and press it once again, you're back to time elapsed on the track. Okay, so say service is over, you're ready to close the disc. Press stop, it will say PMA writing again. Now at this point you have to finalize the disc. It's very important that you do this because otherwise the disc will be unreadable and people will not be able to see that there is information on it and they may throw it away. So it's very important that you finalize the disc. Now in order to do this, come over here with me, right? Now you can see that here, right here, there's a button that's labeled finalize. Right now press that and it says finalize question mark. Now if you press it again you're back to square one. So the next sequence of events needs to be done as I'm going to tell you. You press finalize, then you press this multi-jog knob in, okay? It will say sure and then you press it one more time, okay? Now you'll see that it says TOC. That means what it is doing is it is writing the table of contents to close the disc. Once this is done, this disc will no longer be recordable and it will function like a normal audio disc that will play in any CD player, and it can be read or ripped by any computer. If you do not do this, the disc will appear to be blank for most purposes, right? However, if you forget to finalize it, you can always bring it back to this recorder and finalize it, okay? You don't have to get Neil or Philip or whoever to preach the sermon all over again. That would be quite inconvenient. It always takes 1 minute to finalize. I don't know why. If you know why, put a comment on the video below. Okay, there you go. Now it's done. All right. Now you can see that the TOC is lit up, which means that this disk is no longer recordable. If you press record, you'll see that it says cannot record. Okay, so that is a failsafe which will prevent you from recording over your work. All right. You are almost done. Okay. Once you're done, you can press eject. Okay. And the disk will come out. Remember to label the disk, okay? There's a little pen here which lives in the drawer, and you write on the disk, you write what the service is, and you write the date, okay? So let me do that. Can't really see here, right? So this is the 11th of December, right? And you write, I'm going to write demo. Alright, so you must remember to label the disk, otherwise it will get thrown away. If for some reason you load a disk that is already recorded, you'll notice that it looks to be running the same sequence of events. This takes quite a while, especially if the sermon is going. And once again, if you try and press record, it will tell you that this disk cannot be recorded on. Alright? What do you do with these disks? Well, put them back in your little folder here and inform somebody, either myself or the church office, that there is a recording that is due for collection. So everyone, that's the video on the CD recorder. If there's anything that you don't understand or would like to clarify, you can drop me a message below. You can email me and I'll do my best to answer. Until then, I'll see you in church.